So Dr. Jason Branch has over 20 years of experience in the mental health and counseling profession. Dr. Branch has worked in higher education, community and agency mental health centers, city government, and substance use treatment facilities. Jack of all trades. Dr. Branch is the founder and CEO of J. Branch and Associates, a virtual clinic group private practice that provides therapy services to adults, adolescents, couples, and families in multiple states. He's an approved clinical supervisor, a national certified counselor, a national board for certified counselor minority fellow in the year 2016. Yeah, period, for real. Dr. Branch is also licensed professional clinical counselor, a consultant, a counselor educator that engages in professional and scholarly work focused on Black male experiences, mentoring, cultural awareness, and increasing the practice of self-care for helping professionals. Dr. Branch obtained a dual degree in psychology and sociology from the University of West Alabama. He completed his Master of Arts in the Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program for the University of Alabama at Birmingham. But Dr. Branch earned his doctorate in Counselor Education and Supervision from Auburn University. Without further ado, Dr. Jason Branch.
Yes. Thank you, and welcome. This is the first time I've shared this presentation. I've talked about it for years, but I've never shared the presentation. So this is the first, so you are in for a treat. So being in for a treat, this may be your first time seeing me do this or seeing me do what I usually do. So therefore, it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a journey that we're going to have, and I need you to buckle up, Butterfly. Quick. So the picture represents so many different things about my life and about where I ended up, the journey. So why I'm passionate about this is my story. I'll share more about that towards the end. But Pact 3 is a pact. I was a third member of a pact of guys that I went to college with that decided that we were going to get a PhD in our field. So I read a book, this book actually, it's called The Pact. And it was a book about three doctors, three guys who were friends who grew up together in Newark, New Jersey. And they shared their story of how they decided to make a pact in middle school and they became doctors in their field. So Dr. Ramit Hunt, George Sampson Davis, and George Jenkins. So two MDs and one DMD. And reading their story at the time, I'm just hearing their experience from middle school to high school to college to graduate school to dental school. And I'm just paying attention to their story, their journey, and it inspired me. Like maybe I can establish a pact as well. And that's what I did. So when I was an undergrad, a few members of my fraternity who I felt as though they probably would get a PhD way before me, I decided, hey, maybe they can motivate me to do this by establishing this pact. And I became the third member of the pact, which represents Pact 3. So that's the story. That's the front story. There's a backstory we're going to talk to at the end. But everything that I'm sharing with you is my lived experience, it's research, it's questions, it's 20 years experience, it's all of the life that I have. I'm giving it away. I'm giving it to you. You can do whatever you choose to do with this, but I'm sure there's something that you're going to get before you get out of here. Also, I'm very intentional about everything I do, and I want you to be mindful of the breadcrumbs that surround you. Breadcrumbs are things that you are surrounded by that's hidden in plain sight. Oftentimes you don't see it because you're paying attention to other things, but when you pay attention to you and where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, you see the breadcrumbs. If I see the breadcrumbs and I start picking them up, it's no longer breadcrumbs, I'm having a honey bun, or I might have a little sourdough. Or I might wake up in Panera Bread, meaning a bread factory. I got plenty, okay? So the more you pick up the breadcrumbs, the more you can see the bread. No pun intended. Let's go. So throughout the presentation, you're going to see different things of like, man, that means something. It does, okay? Whatever you feel, it's accurate, it's valid, it's real, it's yours. You're entitled to it. All right, let's dive in. So I'm sorry, any questions or concerns before we dive in? Y'all ready? Everybody buckled up?
Buckled in.
Okay, so, and I'm gonna save some space toward the end for a question. But if you got questions immediately, like I wanna know, help me out, ask away. This is interactive as well. So I don't want you to feel like I'm just lecturing you. I don't believe in that. So this is an engagement. We're gonna talk, we're gonna connect. And you can go anywhere. There's no dumb questions. Okay, there's no such thing. All right, when you don't know something, ask. All right, so let's dive in. What are we going to talk about? This is our agenda. Most organized you're gonna have, the most structured we're gonna have. What is that? The first thing is your house. We're gonna talk about your house. A few students here are my actual students, so they may be a little more rowdier than those who are not, because we kind of created this culture. You got salamander versus gator, so you've been hearing about it for a while, probably the last year. Like, what is this gator stuff? What is this salamander stuff? Now you're gonna learn about it. What's your why? What's the reason you want to get a PhD? There's a why there. Or what's the reason that you're curious about it? Then you're gonna have questions. What direction do I go? So you already have a direction. What school, what program, what department, what's this, what's that? So all that I'm gonna answer some of those questions. What's required? What do I have to do? What do I have to bring? What do I have to do to prepare for getting into a doc program? My timeline. We all have it. We don't talk about it. Things to consider, just a little more in depth. This is kind of an introduction. I will be doing several of these presentations because the PhD or doctoral experience is a lot of different phases, a lot of different chapters. So this is chapter 1, how do you get in? Chapter 2, how do you survive? Chapter 3, how you graduate? Chapter 4, what do I do now? So I got plenty of those that's coming. So this is an overview. Taking action. So you're not just gonna get this information and just sit on it. You're gonna take this information and you're gonna take action around it. And I don't give homework, I give life work. Life work, you take it home, you do it, your life changes. Homework, you take it home, you do it, you forget about it. So I want to give you what I have. Last thing is story time. So I'll tell you all the story related to the picture that you just saw. Are we ready? Ready. Okay. Click, click. Oh, let's see, I told y'all, my newbies. Click, click. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing. First thing, we got to get down to business quickly. First thing is understand from today moving forward, we're coming from the standpoint of your house. All of us have a house. Guess what? You're walking around in it right now, right? So even though we all have a house, we're all human beings, everybody's house is different, externally and internally. Regardless of how different our house is, those 3 levels we all have. There's 3 levels of your house. That's our house, your house, Dr. Insert your name. I need you to start now. See it, breadcrumb. Y'all see it, insert your name. I left that blank on purpose. That could be your house. That may be my house. Who knows? It's so good, we just started. So there's 3 layers in your house. You got the attic, the living room, and the basement. The attic is where we spend most of our time. I mean, the attic is nice, it's plush. You got a California king size bed in there. You got a wine bar, you got pictures all over the wall from Picasso to Basquiat. I mean, it's nice. All kind of drinks, you know, you got company come over. That's the attic, that's where we spend a lot of time. When you go downstairs from the attic, you end up in the living room. The living room is real comfortable, right? It's your main living space. So you typically sitting back, hanging out on the couch, got your shoes and socks off, rubbing your toes together, watching your favorite TV show or movie. It's authenticity. It's where you typically live. Then you got the basement. The basement usually locked up. We don't go down there. It's dark. It's wet. It's moldy. It's spider webs. We don't deal with that. So there's a padlock that's usually in the basement. So to connect this to us being our house, the attic now represents your mind or your head. You spend a lot of time in your head. That's why it's so comfortable up there. We want to work already. Oh, y'all might need pen and paper. So y'all know now, I got a lot to give you. So use your phone or whatever you need to do. So the attic is where I spend most of my time, which is in my head. The living room is where I spend my time during life, meaning being present, being available, being vulnerable, being authentic. And then the basement is my heart. It's the emotions. It's the fear. It's all the BS that got us to where we are right now. It's in the basement. Anything that you want to change or shift, you got to go to the basement in order to get it. The basement is that heart work. It's that need work. It's that self work. And a lot of times we're not willing to do it. Why? It's scary. It's uncomfortable. And a lot of times we don't know how. So those 3 levels, those 3 layers. So the beauty of your house is it's whatever you say it is. Just like your literal home, you decorated it the way you said it is. So when you think about life in this journey, I want you to keep that same mentality. So when I ask you whose house, I want you to say my house. In my class, people in my class, y'all know how we do. So we're gonna shake up this first floor just to let people know we in the building.
You have to go with the door open.
Whose house? We're going with the door open because his house is mine. They knew we were coming. They know now. Let's go. Let's go. So understand, that's the core of everything. So anytime you have a question, what do I do? What do I say? Where do I go? Go back to your house. What's important to me? What's valuable to me? What do I like? What do I value? And if I don't know it, it's my responsibility to figure it out. If you haven't yet. Make sense? Okay. Next piece. Ooh, wait. We gotta talk about it. This is just preliminary. We didn't get to the heart yet. We just doing preliminary stuff. I need you to know foundation. So when we talk, the talk that we do, you'll have an understanding. This is our background, right? So understand, as a student, as a helping professional in training, especially during this journey, many of you, if not all, I'm gonna say all, are salamanders. Salamanders. So imagine what a salamander is. A salamander typically is like a turtle that leaves its shell. You out here naked and afraid, and I ain't talking about the TV show. Okay? So you're vulnerable, you're penetrable, everything sticks, you slimy, right? You take your work home. You try to help or save the world and not willing to save yourself. Someone talk about facts, right? So that's what salamanders do. They try to be everything to everyone. Now, I've decided to compartmentalize this salamander life with 4 Ps. There's 4 Ps of salamander life, and this will determine if you are a salamander or not. I gave my belief. Now we're going to talk about facts, because you will know way better than I do. First thing that happens for salamanders, their mentality is perfectionism. Yep. Hey, salamander. Got a few others. Hey, salamander. Perfection, that's number 1. That's an automatic response of, I might be a salamander. Hello, my name is Dr. David Branch. I'm a salamander. That's it. That's number 1. Admitting I have a problem. Yeah, we going there. And the problem is not our fault. It's our society. It's our culture. It's our world. It's designed to be a perfectionist. It's designed to be very black and white, meaning I got one option or the other. What's those options? Oh, I do cuss, by the way. Everybody okay with that?
Go ahead.
Because we grown. All right. So the options are either I'm good or I'm shit. Either I'm good or I'm bad. Either I'm great or I'm terrible. Either I know what I'm doing or this is a shit show. No in between. None. Those are salamanders. Are you seeing you yet? We just said the first one. Number 2, perception. Salamander's perception is very limited. It's limited based off of their lived experience. It's like rose-colored glasses, but instead of roses, it's shit again, because that's all you can see. Salamanders talk about what if, not what is. And what if usually ends in everything horrible that they don't want. Yeah, oh, I'm just talking about salamanders, that's it. But that's what you talk about, everything you don't want. What if this happens? What if that? And what if I don't get in? And what if I this? And what? Oh my God, salamander. All that, part 2. Next piece, patience, you have none. Hey, salamanders. You have none. I want it now. I want it yesterday. I want to be a great therapist now. You just started yesterday, literally. And you expect to be Freud. You don't look nothing like them. These are facts.
Hell no.
So the patience piece, you have none because you're in a rush for everything. That's what perfectionism does to you. You feel as though you're behind, even though you're exactly where you're supposed to be. At this point in time in your life, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. How do we know? You said it first. Let me give you an example. The reason you came to this workshop, the reason y'all watching, the reason y'all listening, you said it first. Oh, hey, you too. You said it first. I'm gonna go to workshop. I'm gonna check this thing out. I heard about Dr. Branch. You said it. So if you said it and you end up in the seat, guess what? Your life is the same. You said it first. I'm gonna go get my master's. The reason you haven't gone or moved forward and getting your doctorate is because of what you said. Oh, he's starting already. You said it. I don't know. I ain't ready. Maybe when I'm grown. Y'all grown as shit. Rusty grown. Hey, but still don't know. Understand the reason that you don't know is because of the people that told you no. Number 1, I ain't got a PhD. God, dog.
Yeah.
Everybody that you talked about PhD don't got one. I'm guaranteeing that. They don't got one. But they know everything about it. They ain't got a bachelor's or a master's. What they got is problems, and they're giving them to you. And guess what you do? Gladly accept. Jake, I'll take them. I'll take them. You're right. Masters is the highest I'll go. Right? So we got to understand our perception, lack of patience, and salamanders are not present. Just want to talk about facts, not present. Constantly worried about what's ahead, constantly worried about what happened. You're not here until now. So I called you out on it. Now you're like, pay attention. He sees me. Yep, I see you, all of you. Okay, why? Because I was a salamander at one point in time in my life. But now I am a gator, baby.
Let's go.
Woo, let's go. Gators, right? The gator is very different from a salamander. A gator has a very hard protective covering. A lot of things roll off of their back. They don't say a lot, but they show a lot. You see teeth, right? Did you see the salamander? No teeth. Talking about the most shit. No teeth and talk to the most shit. Any salamanders in here? Yep. We just got through talking. No different teeth. We're talking, right? I just want you to see the difference between a gator and a salamander. Gator, mouth ain't even open, but you see them teeth. What that means, get back. Get back, you might get bit. You already see what I'm about, right? Arms folded. Oh, let's go. That means they're ready. Gators stay ready. Now, understand with a gator, their underbelly is vulnerable, but nobody has access unless they want you to see. That's the difference. Salamander, you just out here naked. Gators, I'm covered, I'm protected. And the only people who got access are the ones who I value. My board members, people that know intimate things about me or have access to me, such as my cell phone number or my address. Everybody don't have access. Think about LeBron James. Everybody ain't got a cell phone. But those who do, they about something. They are somebody because they have access. We don't have that access unless somebody got his number. Send it to me if you do. So understand the difference between the gator and the salamander. Gators grow into being a gator. That's what salamanders do. They grow into being a gator. How do you grow? Number one, I'm moving away from perfectionism. I'm going into consistency. Gators just keep showing up. They just keep showing up. Like, you ain't left yet. Nope, still here. Let's get it. They're consistent. They're not worried about being perfect because they're human and they know that. Y'all haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, I'm gonna do this all night. So y'all got me today. Y'all gave me 2 hours too. I'm taking every minute. I want every damn minute. Number two. So if you think about it, consistency is very different from perfectionism. It's different. I have to do something, right? Gators are also, they're not worried about their perspective. Their perspective is what it is, but they're moving away from conviction to curiosity. Conviction, I know what it is. This is what it's always going to be. That's salamander talk. Gator talk is, I don't know, and I'm open to find out. They're curious. Gators are also creative. What do creative means? Being authentic, being vulnerable, being transparent. Think about how creative you are when you are your most natural, authentic self. When you're in that living room, you can put some shit together, you can do some stuff. But whenever you're in that attic, oh, put the mask on. I'm not worthy, right? So gators are creative. Also, gators are courageous. You haven't gotten there yet, or you wouldn't be here. I'm going with it. They're courageous. I'll do it. I'll try it. Bungee jump. Yeah. Skydive. I'll do it. Swamp full of gators. Guess what? I am the gator. They show up. Courage. Courageous. Last thing. This is what salamanders never do. Is celebrate. You have the gators celebrate before, during, and after whatever the hell they doing. They celebrate. Oh, I'm going through hell right now. Practically kicking my ass. My supervisor sucks. Guess what? I get to do this work. Celebrating it versus, oh my God, my supervisor, I'm tired. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Doing that. Kid's not doing that. Okay, cool. This is an opportunity. Two things come from that opportunity. I can learn something. I can learn from some people. I can learn what to do. I can learn what not to do. They celebrate that. They got their party hat. Can you imagine a gator with a party hat on? I can. I hope you can. So understand that's the core. Before we do anything, you have to understand the core first. Now let's dive into it. Go with what you know instead of go with what and who you know, not what you think. Understand, whatever it is that you think right now is skewed. Whatever you think about a PhD program, a doctorate program, is skewed. Why? Because we're not aware. We're not aware. Nobody's talking about it. That's why we're talking about it, because nobody's talking about it. And people talking about it ain't got a doctorate. Just want to talk about facts. That's it. So why am I talking about it? I got one.
That's right.
Let's go. Just getting started. Like, this is the warm up. Like an old Cadillac. I'm just getting ready, baby. And yes, I quoted me. Why not? I'm a gator. I'm setting y'all up for success. We only 25 minutes in. I'm setting y'all up for success. All right, so doctoral, QTNA. We're using text language, right? Questions that need answers. Come on, yeah. Oh, so these are questions that you're usually going to have. All right. Number one, what's the reason? What is your why? Why do you want a PhD? That's the first question you need to ask and answer for yourself. Why do you want it? If you just want to be called doctor, this is not the club for you. Telling you what I know, not what I heard. This is not the spot for you. This is not the fraternity you want to join because you will get hazed. I'm telling you what I know. So the first thing that you have to do is determine what your why is. And don't just have one why. Anybody that get a doctorate, more than likely, anyone that finishes their doctorate, they did it for themselves. Anyone, my opinion, who can live a life of sobriety, recovery, they did it for themselves. They stopped using it for them, not for the family, not for the kids, not for the wife, partners, but ain't do it for them. Those who do it for them, what happens when that person is no longer there? They're going back to what they know. Same thing here. So know your why and make sure it's about you and whatever it is that you want to do. If you're doing it for your family, guess what? They're not going to show up for you. That's why I don't have a PhD now. Besides those who do. You're not talking to them because you're talking to me. Yeah, I just want to talk about facts. That's it. Facts and beliefs. That's all this world is in my mind. Facts and beliefs. You get to determine what the facts are and the beliefs are. All right. So know what your why is. My why, I did it for several reasons. One of the biggest reasons is because I felt as though I couldn't do it. One of the biggest reasons to prove to myself, my old self, that I was smart. We got a PhD to prove it. Was it proven? I don't know. Depends on who you ask. So know your why. One of the whys, I want to see more people that look like me doing this work.
Yep.
It's bigger than me. Way bigger than me. I need to see more. Because guess what? I don't see none of me in here. What does that say? Same shit has been saying since the 1800s. These are facts. Same thing it's saying right now. Our political climate, what just took place, same thing. Ain't no change. Nobody was in the room when it happened, right? So, y'all remember that? Hamilton?
Yeah.
We gotta go there. So next piece. What direction do I want to go? To understand, you have to understand when it comes to my house, I determine where I'm going to go. And if I don't know that, then I need to go back in my house and figure it out, especially going in the basement. That means you got to take that padlock off. It's work. Because that's where the heart lies. That's where the truth is. Number three, what's required of me? What do I have to do? You can't just show up and get a PhD. You just can't show up and get in the program. This doesn't happen. What I'm sharing with you is a lot. Number one, it's a lot. But it's a lot of things that can help you get to where you're trying to go. It's just coming from someone who found a way to make it happen. I'll share that more later. So what's required? So let's dive in. What's the reason some people decide to get a doctorate? Again, everybody has their own reason. For some, it's a personal fulfillment. Achieving a PhD can be deeply rewarding and a major personal goal. It was a major personal goal for me. I didn't think I could do it. I can be the first in my family, and I was. I am. Hasn't changed yet. That was in 2018. I don't even know what year it is now. But that's how long it was. Credibility and expertise. Having a PhD will give you credibility. How do I know that? Think about many of you that came in. Oh my God, Dr. Branch don't know shit about me, but no, he's a doctor. I don't even know what kind. Don't matter. So credibility and expertise signals mastery in a specialization. Having a doctorate gives you mastery. Why? Because I went through hell. We went through hell to get it. It's mastery. But it doesn't stop with the PhD. I'm still getting better. Intellectual growth, mentally, I want to know more. I want to shift my perspective from a salamander to a gator. Anybody that got a doctorate is a gator. Just know that off the top. They're gator. Now, they baby salamanders inside. But on the outside, credentials, they're gator. Leadership opportunities, doors will open constantly, consistently with your doctorate if you are putting yourself out there. Passion, interest in research. I'm interested in a research topic. I want to dive into this research. I'm curious about this or that, or the clients that I'm working with. I want to know more. or different specializations and training. Social impact. I want to make an impact. I want to do something. It allows for creating positive change in communities and systems. One great way to beat a system is to lead it. Leadership comes from the top. Think about any organization. Whatever the culture of that organization comes from the leader. Organization sucks, leader sucks. That's simple. Organization great, leader's great. Leadership's great. Think about any organization you've been a part of. You know it. Especially if you was the president every year. You already know it. It's 100% of us, 80% doing nothing, 20% doing the work. Just want to talk about organizations, right? So social impact. Now, another breadcrumb. Why not you? Hope you've seen it. Just give them breadcrumbs. Next thing, what direction do I go? So one of the biggest questions for a lot of salamanders, a lot of master's students is, which is the right one? Whenever you say what's right, that's salamander talk. Whenever you shift your wordplay to what's best for me, that's gator talk. Because that's what it's about. What's best for me? What's right, what's wrong is subjective. So I'll break it down. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but and these are going in particular order. But PhD is a doctorate of philosophy. So you can get your PhD in any arena. I'm talking mainly about helping professions. So typically with a PhD, you can get a PhD in IO psychology, clinical psychology, counseling psychology. I mean, there's so many different ones. Counselor education, that's what my PhD is in, counselor education and supervision. So it goes on and on and on. More research-based, PsyD, more clinical-based. PsyD is a doctoral program that's more clinical-based, doesn't take as long, will cost you a lot more. Okay, so it costs you money, PhD costs you time. Either way, you're gonna pay the cost. But, you know, sometimes we pay the cost to be the boss. Whew.
Yeah.
Third is an MD. If you wanna go into psychiatry, that's an MD. You become a doctor and then you specialize in psychiatry. So that's not a doctorate, that's a medical doctor. So you're going to med school to get your, to become a medical doctor. So you get to determine what works best for you. I hope you're seeing more nuggets. I hope you're seeing more breadcrumbs. Because many of us are on this journey and we're in the trunk of our own car. That means somebody else is driving. Whatever you're doing that don't line up with you, that's somebody else's, not yours. You just haven't accepted it yet. Because once I accept it, then I can decide this doesn't work for me. If I haven't accepted, I'm just in here in this place of purgatory. It was like, I don't know, what is this? Is that feel like double dutch? Kind of like this. If you feel that way about the PhD, it's because you're having internal battles and dialogue with what you really want to do and your fears. That's what's talking, fears. So what direction you want to go? Depends on you. Where can I go? Where could I go? If you notice, more breadcrumbs, I said could and not should. Because what salamanders say, where should I go? What's the best program? Shut up. Doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't exist. So the first thing, y'all gotta excuse me for being mean, okay? The first thing is location, okay? This is my recommendation. The first thing when it comes to PhD program is where the hell y'all at, okay? Being in the state of California, you don't have access to you don't have access to any Counselor Education Supervision program. In the state, have none. What's the one?
Auburn University just started.
Yesterday, literally, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have options that you didn't have before. This is new, and it took a lot for that to come out, a lot for that to happen. So it's a new program, starting from ground zero. They may not even be accredited yet. So it's a lot of new stuff. So do I want to take that risk where they're not established? I'm in the middle of that. You can, and you get to decide. Because for many of us, you know, you have your own living situation. You know, I want to stay home, I want to stay close to family, it's this, it's that. Then know that if I choose to stay here, if I choose to stay comfortable, if I choose to stay complacent, just my opinion, then I can't grow as much as I could if I left. Can't. So decide location. What's the best place? So location is really important because a lot of times when you get your PhD, you may not be able to get in your backyard. That's again, California. So therefore, if I'm thinking about location, I have to consider leaving. Now, the great thing about PhD programs, they are temporary, which means once you finish, you're done. You can take your ass back home if you want. Typically, most people, when they finish their doctorate and they go somewhere else to get the doctorate, they oftentimes don't go back home. Often, unless they live in California. Yeah, I'm coming back. Which speaks volumes of my wife. She's actually a graduate of Cal State Fullerton. And she went to University of North Texas. She had to leave. Then we got together, we was in Jersey. Guess what? Came back here. So know that this profession can open so many different doors for you. And sometimes you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone by leaving. I highly recommend it. Leave, get the hell out of here. You can always come back. California ain't going nowhere. Even when it becomes an island, it's still. So location, number one, I'm stressing that because you have to be mindful of, am I willing to leave? Gators leave. Salamander State in their damn turtle shell. That's all. Program reputation and accreditation. Understand program reputation is very different than the program or school brand. For example, if there was a counselor education program at Harvard, I don't know if there is or not, but just because it's Harvard doesn't mean it's a great program. The brand of Harvard stands strong, but the programs of Harvard depends on where you're at. Understand any program, any school is ran by what? People. So it's only as great as the people that's there. And there's some horrible people at Ivy League institutions. Guess what? There are horrible people everywhere. Up to the glove. Not just Ivy League, it's everywhere. Everywhere. So reputation accreditation, or is this program accredited? Is this program accredited? I challenge you, I highly recommend, especially if you want to get licensed, you're working toward a license, go to a program that's accredited. If it's accredited, once I graduate, I'll go right into the licensure process. If it's not accredited, there's more hoops and BS I gotta go through to get licensed. So to eliminate extra hoops and BS, because there's a lot of hoops and BS anyway, to eliminate that, then you decide, I'm only looking at K-CREP programs. Now, these are notes. Make sure you put your notes or put it in your phone. K-CREP, everybody's familiar with K-CREP, right? Okay. So the K-CREP website has a list of every accredited program in the country and international. No excuse. Now you know what's out there, right? So K-CREP, I highly recommend it. The next is personal and professional fit. When it comes to fit, I think about clients. Think about us as clients. And those who haven't gone to therapy yet, this is your breadcrumb. No, this is your sourdough. This is your honeycomb. Get your ass in therapy. I mean it. So, personal and professional fit. How can I know what's a good fit for me if I don't know who the hell I am? Tell me, just keep doing it. Why do you do this? So, knowing who I am, I know where I belong. DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. Some programs you already know you don't belong, meaning they don't have a desire, support, systems, communities designed for you. Let me make that plain. They don't want your ass. Make it real plain. How do I know? Look at the website. There's nobody there that looks like nobody that I'm connected with. One thing that really bothers me, but it's funny at the same time, anytime I go to a conference, it feels like I'm in a bowl of mashed potatoes with a few specks of black pepper. What that let me know. And I be wanting to welcome, but guess what? I love being black pepper. I spice shit up, baby. I spice it up. You need black pepper. So understand where your fit is. So if I am a black male, not likely I'm gonna go to any school in Idaho, Iowa. Not going. Hell no. You already with me. I wouldn't go either. If I was black, I wouldn't go either. Now, understand why. Now, this is real short, small, but it's big. This is a story that's been told year after year, but it always makes sense. For black males specifically. Imagine going to Iowa, going to any of the Dakotas, and you just want the simplicity of going to get a haircut, or get your hair done, or eat food that you're familiar with as part of your culture or customs. You may not have access to that. Location's everything. Okay? It's hard to be in, it's not that you can't, but it's hard to be in spaces where you don't see you. It's hard. It's extremely difficult. So I'm not gonna add that. So Idaho, y'all can keep the potatoes, baby. So understand what's a good fit, okay? Next is licensure and career opportunities. A lot of these programs offer this stuff. Research it, find out what they're doing, find out how they're doing it. Job placement, alumni network. Cal State Fullerton alumni network is solid. University of North Texas, solid. There's an exchange here. Okay, I mentioned Mia, my partner, from Cal State to North Texas. It connects to Dr. Bruce, Ingrid Carlson,
Dr. Honor, too.
Ana Reyes.
Dr. Price is there.
Right, are y'all seeing it?
Yeah.
I ain't making this shit up. There's a pipeline, it's intentional, okay? So now, understand the quote I said earlier, who, right? Go with who you know and what you know, not what you think. The who is the people, your network, your community. The reason I'm here and have the privilege of being able to teach you all is because of the relationships that my wife had, not me. These were her old professors. I happen to be in a profession. I'm a product of the environment, so I'm like special casualty, And she couldn't do it. It was like, hey, can the other Dr. Branch do it? Yeah, that's how I got it. Got 2 Dr. Branches at the house. This is so good. All right, so that's how I got here. It's the alumni network. Professional engagement. If you go to a conference and you don't see certain schools represented, that says something. You see students and you don't know what school they went to, or you think of certain schools and you don't see them represented, that says something. Says a lot. Clinical training, research opportunities. Think about the people that's there in their research interests. So you want to go look at these programs and see who's studying what. What I highly recommend not doing is following any professor that you're a fan of. Because just because you're a fan of them doesn't mean they will be a fan of you. Damn, that hurt. That hurts. So if I'm chasing this person and they happen to not be a fan of me, that's going to make my experience really, really tough because this is why I came for them. But if I also came to a university because of a person and they decide to leave, then what? Here we go with the potatoes again. So do not base your decision on somebody else. Base it on you. This person happens to be there. Okay, I'll check them out, right? Clinical training, research, faculty expertise. What are the faculty doing? Where are they? Are they showing up? Are they nationally? Are they recognized? Are they statewide? Dr. Bruce is a legend to me. Always have been, always will be. And she's here, and I have access. Like we hang out, we kick it. That's my dog. I can't believe I'm friends with a lot of big people in the profession. I'm actually a big person too. Sally Green Child. So it's kind of hard to hang with people on that level if you're not on that level. Oh, this is so good. All right. Program culture. What's the culture? If you think about Cal State Fullerton, one thing that stood out to me would relate to the culture at DEIB is even publicized and talked about. Now it's still a work in progress, but to be able to see signs in the elevator, even some of these things that are posted around campus, lets me know there is interest. Hey, I see you. I may not get you, may not understand you, may not be that empathetic, but hey, you're welcome here. That means something. It means something to me. All right. So think about the culture. If there's nothing represented at that institution that relates to you, that says something. Now, you can be as great as you want to be and be the first. I'm the first this to be that. Great. Great. There's no award for it. You just brag about it. You talk shit. Oh, first one. Okay, cool. But what hell did you go through for those 4 to 6 years to be the first? Because sometimes people don't like the first. It's a lot. That's why I need several chapters of this. Support systems. Some schools don't offer support systems such as mentorship programs or opportunities or fellowships or scholarships or funding. They don't offer it. It's just like, man, sink or swim, figure it out. Which is the last piece, the funding and financial support. There are PhD programs that will pay you to go. Real story. There's a lot of them. Now that's changed. That's changed over the years. I went to Auburn University and they paid for me to go. Fully funded. And I had an assistantship. So assistantship is like an internship, but upgraded a bit. So your tuition is usually covered for the program I was in, and then you get a stipend. The stipend was probably about 26, 27 grand a year. So I'm surviving off of 26, 27 grand a year as a student. It's not bad. I get 26 grand to learn, not bad. Can't really survive, but I can learn. So I remained in private practice because I was fully professional licensed the whole nine and decided to leave it all to go to school. I'll tell you about that soon. So funding, financial support, I'm gonna pay for this shit if they're not paying for it. You gotta think about that. Okay, or who's paying for it? Unless you got a rich uncle, just because your uncle rich don't mean they gonna take care of you, okay? All right, so figure out funding and financial support. One of the ways to find out about that, again, go online. Any program that you think about, go online, see what they got. Make some phone calls, shoot some emails. I'm curious, I wanna know more. So be willing to step outside your comfort zone. Again, that's what gators do. PhD requirements. Some of those requirements, typically, this is on average. This doesn't apply to all, but on average, you're gonna have to have a personal statement. A personal statement is your story. Why you wanna do this? That goes back to your why. Why do I wanna get a PhD? I wanna save the world, I wanna help people, I wanna get more people of color in this profession, whatever. Share it. That's your personal statement. Your clinical experience, whatever the hell you've done so far. A lot of times with counselor education programs, they're designed to set you up from a master's right into the doctorate. Clinical psych, counseling psych, you start over. You just happen to have a master's. I need y'all to know that. You good? So counselor education programs, typically about 4 years, postmasters. PhD, clinical psych, counselor psych, postmasters could still be 6 years or more. So it just depends. Now, understand, to me, it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you get it. To me. To you, as a salamander, maybe something else. I need it by this time. Or I'm nothing. Black and white thing. Again. All right. So clinical experience, what you're doing already. Practicum, internship, guess what? It counts. Even if you're not doing that, you're volunteering somewhere with your church, with your sorority, fraternity. You're doing something. Letters of recommendation. Now is the time to start getting connected, getting close with your professors. Especially if you avoided them the last couple of years. It's the best time. Go to ones you like and the ones that like you. Or go to the ones that you know don't move. Don't do it. Hey, that's such and such. I ain't seen you in 3 years. Get out. Right? So letters of recommendation, typically you'd need about 3. So people in the profession, your professors, private practice. So even at your internship site, think about people that could write a letter on your behalf to speak on your experience. Don't get a professor just because they're a professor. If you've never had a class with them, never worked with them, probably not the best idea. Supervision, if you got fired from your site, that's not the person you want to get to do your lab. Not at all. All right. Research experience. Now, this can cause some tension because oftentimes we think that we have to know it all already. Again, salamander. The reality is you ain't got no shit but what you want to do. So research experience is, do you know what you want to study? Do you know who you want to study? Do you know who you want to learn about? That's all you need. That's bare minimum. Do you know your research interest? Yeah, I want to work with Black men. I want to help Black men. That was my research interest. I want to help get more people in the Black community to go to therapy. That was my idea. That's all I needed to get in the program. Because guess what? I had 0 publications when I got in. 0. It's not required. Recommended, it's preferred, but it's not required. So you don't have to have a lot. If you have it, it makes you even more marketable. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Academic achievement, your GPA, great to have, not the end of the world if you don't have the greatest. I did not have the greatest, and people didn't care because, well, the department didn't care as much because of everything else that I may have done. So don't get caught up in one thing. Make sure your background is diversified. So academic achievement, typically 3.0 and above, you should be good. 3.5, you're looking real good. 4.0, even better. But that's not the only thing most programs look at. Standardized test scores, GRE, MAT is required for most programs. However, we're in 2024, there's some programs they got rid of it because they recognize, as we all have through research, that standardized tests doesn't prove a person's ability. Doesn't. And a lot of people of color struggle with standardized tests. Why? They weren't designed for people of color. So they're not considering culture, not considering background, not considering upbringing. They were not considering that. Take this test and that's going to determine how well you do. And to me, it serves as a barrier to prevent more people from marginalized communities from getting in these programs to do the work. How can I have, I'm just trying to get in just to do the work? Nope, not allowed. Clear and defined career goals, career exploration. If you're saying, yeah, I want to get a doctorate, okay, what do you want to do? Just call me doctor, call me doctor. Ain't work. Ain't gonna work. Okay? You're not gonna get in the program just to be called doctor. They're going to ask, what's your aspirations? What do you want to do after this? If you don't know, it's a great opportunity to find out. I want to teach. I want to go into private practice. I want to do some research. I want to do this, I want to do that. Have an idea of what you want to do. You don't know what that is yet? Figure it out before you start applying. 5 components. This is specifically for counselor education. I want to let you know where you need to be and then what you can do now. So I want to give you some tangible things too. So the 5 areas, typically, number 1 is teaching. You go into a doc program, counselor education and supervision, teach. That's number 1, professor, teaching, right? Second is clinical. These don't go in any particular order. What clinical background or work that you've done? Third, supervision. You're learning how to supervise. So in these programs, you're learning how to be these things. So you're learning how to be a teacher. You're learning how to be a clinician. You're learning how to be a supervisor. You're learning how to be a researcher. You're learning how to do that in the PhD program. So you ain't got to have it together already, salamanders. Okay, you're in luck. Last is service and advocacy. So those are the things that you are doing every day, all day in the counselor ed program in some capacity. Your classes are set up around that, your dissertation set up, everything is set up around these 5 things across the country, across the globe. Now that you know that, how can I begin working towards these 5, especially if you're considering counselor education? Great question. Thanks for asking. Number 1, teaching assistant. Are you doing some teaching assistant work? Even if you're not doing teaching assistant, are you teaching Bible study at your church? Are you teaching kids things? You know, some of y'all are in school settings. What am I teaching? How am I teaching? How am I providing instruction to people? Doesn't matter where you are or how you do it. Am I providing instruction? It could be a job. You can be a teacher at McDonald's, real job. This is how you do the fries. This is how I do it. But this is how you do the fries. Still a teacher, okay? Next, clinical. What you doing already? Internship? Already notes. You already covered. You're already doing it. Good. Supervision. Anything that you do to supervise other people. First is teaching, the next is supervising. So if you are a supervisor at your job, if you're in leadership within your organization, CSI, any CSI leaders in here? You're already covered. You're already covered. Because you're over something, even if it's sandwiches. You're over. Woo, okay. You're a supervisor. I'm making sure the food cool. I'm making sure ain't no flies on. I'm doing whatever I gotta do.
I have your worries on that.
Oh, see, come on. That lets me know that you're capable of overlooking someone, even if they don't move, right? You're capable. So again, it's volunteerism, mentorship. You can be a dog sitter. Like it shows responsibility.
I'm a dog sitter too.
There you go. Put on your statement. Put it on your statement because it lets the department and lets the people know you're not just out here by yourself, winging it. No, you're responsible for something. I'm a babysitter. I'm a nurse. I'm gonna take care. I'm a mom. I'm a dad. You damn right I can supervise kids still alive. Yes, I can do this. Research. Again, start looking at what you're interested in. You've done a presentation in class before. That's research. It counts. We just don't count it because in our mind, we got to do all the things. We got to be Kotler. Them. That means Jeffrey Kotler and the rest of them. You don't have to be all of them, okay? Just be you. So the research piece is what you're already doing, finding out what's out there. Jesse, I'm gonna call you out for a hot minute. Are you okay with that? For example, Jesse decided out of the kindness of his heart and interest and curiosity as a gator in training, I want to learn about EMDR. He didn't stop there. He decided, I'm gonna do a training that's designed for people who already got the license. He said, F that, I'm a gator, baby.
No, that's right.
He already got a leg up. Already got a leg up on research. Already done. He could talk about his lived experience at EMDR. That makes you an even higher qualified candidate for any program. Some students don't even know what it means. They don't even know the word. EMDR, is that like techno music? Because understand the people that's in these departments are therapists as well. So they're paying attention. And for me, let's say for instance, I'm on that board or on that committee, I'm looking for these things. What have you done? I really don't, your GPA is the last thing I'm worried about. So I'm looking at what have you done? So to break that down a bit, what was the last thing I said before that? Lost my train of thought. Okay, MDR. Yes, thank you. If I was on the board, thank you. If I was on the board, I'm gonna ask, typically, as a therapist, counselor educator, there are certain questions I can ask to let me know where you are. And how great your program was that you came from. Let me give you an example. Say for instance, you're on an interview, and not the first question, but a question I ask you is, what's your theoretical orientation? That alone gonna let me know your training. I'm eclectic. You're not in. You're not getting in. You're not getting in. I'm just gonna be honest. It's gonna be hard to convince me to get in. You're eclectic. Eclectic is I haven't identified, I don't really know, I haven't selected, I have a hard time making decisions. I'm a salamander and I haven't done anything else about it. You see that? It's a lot of shit. It's basement shit. I see basement quick. So at least know your theoretical orientation. Oh, CBT. All right. Adler. You speak the language, that lets me know, oh, you ready. Versus, I'm still, I'm trying. Viktor Frankl, you're not ready. You're not ready yet. Your program didn't train you well. Maybe trained, maybe okay, but not well. Because if you train well, as y'all know, you can spit it out. Anybody that take my class, can't speak for everybody, but anybody take my class, you spit it, 30 seconds. You know what the hell I am. I know what I'm doing, I know what I want. That's why I teach the way I teach. I'm preparing you if you decide to go further. But even if you don't, you still good. I'm not teaching good therapists, I teach great ones. Last, service and advocacy. Service and advocacy, what are you doing? How are you serving? CSI service. Y'all put this on, lives are gonna be changed because of this. Because I wish I had this. I wish I had me. That's why I give y'all me. I wish I had this. Didn't. That's why I give y'all me, right? So service and advocacy, what are you doing now? If you ain't doing shit now, you ain't gonna do shit then. Do some shit. Literally, do something besides work in school. Okay? So for me, those areas are very important to me. Going back to the other slide. Where we at? Okay. Going here, same deal. Personal statement I can start working on now. You already know your story. You already know your journey. Don't wait. Draft it. Draft it. Don't date it. Draft it. Clinical experience, I'm already doing it. Let me document this. Letters of recommendation, I got 3 people in mind that's gonna look out for me. Don't wait. They can write the letter now, actually. Cut and paste, right? Because you don't have to change a lot of things. Research experience, how can I get more involved in research? There's always opportunity around here. Academic achievement, your GPA, again, we get so caught up, oh my God, I gotta make the best grade. Doesn't matter. For me, as a person reviewing, I feel some kind of way if you got straight A's and you ain't did shit else. Yep. You got straight A's, but you ain't involved in nothing. Go to school, you do the work, you go home, watch Netflix. I'm good. I'm good. I would take a student, they got a 3.5, 3.2, a 3.0, but got all this other stuff going on. Why? Because of my lived experience. I didn't have the pedigree to be one of those students. I didn't. That's why I view grades differently, because of my pedigree. And what I realized is nobody gives a shit but you. I've been in this profession 20 years. Guess how many clients asked me what my GPA was? Yep, that many. None. They don't give a shit. They care about what you're doing with them. How can you help me? I don't care about your grades. No one cares but you. And you care so much, you can't even be present.
Right here.
Because I'm worried about the grade and not the experience. Worried about the grade and not the experience. The experience is what gets you in doc programs, not the grade. The grade is a part of it. It's not the end all be all. Does this make sense?
Thank God my seatbelt is on right now.
Okay, I told y'all buckle up. I told y'all for the jump. Buckle up. So I want to give you evidence too, right? Why do you think your practicum and internship classes are pass-fail and not A through Z? Why do you think that is? You're on your way out, which means we don't give a shit about grade. I damn sure don't. I care what you do with these clients. So yeah, you got an A, but you don't know any diagnosis. You know no damn theoretical orientation. You know no skills. You know no techniques, but you got an A. Because that's all I wanted. I'm not trying to be good at this. I'm trying to get an A. Damn. If I step on your toes, I don't apologize. Oh, did you see the breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
Just one check. Understand what that means. Anytime you throw a pebble in the pond, anytime you make a decision, you have a thought, you change, you pivot, it's a pebble in the pond. And anytime you throw a pebble in the pond, it's going to make waves and ripples. Those ripples is everything that's around you that goes out and comes back. I dreamed of doing this presentation over a decade ago. That was the pebble. I've been writing about this and studying it. Now I'm here, and man, I'm telling you, this is the first time I'm doing this. I've never done it before. You're for real? Damn. Okay, okay. Professor, okay. What's up? I'm talking shit my whole life. I'm just deciding to share with y'all, my only child, doing this, right? So, next piece, now you got all the nuts and bolts, right? The next thing that comes to Salamander's mind is, how long will it take? I want to give you an example. How long does it take? However fucking long it is. However long it is. You're going to be 32 anyway. You're going to be 40 anyway. You're going to be 20, whatever. You're going to be that age anyway. It don't matter how long it takes, as long as you get it. Because out of 20 years, how many clients ask me, how long did it take? Goose eggs, none. They don't give a shit. They care about who's in the chair, not where you came from, not your program. They never heard of Harvard. What is a Harvard? Is that a tree? Something? A lot of times they don't know what we know because they're not at the level that we are. Okay, they may not have the educational background that we had. So get over yourself. Get out of the way. Mean it. So, how long would it take? However long it is. My recommendation, this is just something to get you started. If most programs, you are applying a year in advance. Most programs, not all. Some programs is admission throughout the year. Most programs, Counselor Education, admission usually happens. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a point on here. Admission usually. Uh-oh, it don't show up on the screen. Ain't that technology? It don't show up on the screen. So typically, programs are admitting around this time, so you can start around this time. So therefore, if my application is due December 1st, I got a whole year to do whatever the things we just talked about in order to put that application in. But if it's 2025, which is coming soon, and I haven't made a decision yet, don't get farther and farther away from that date. So what I need y'all to do by January 2025 is make a damn decision. Make a decision. Do I want this shit or not? And I don't want you to go by what people told you. I want you to go by what you feel, what you think, what you value, what you believe. Go by that. Let them tell you no. Don't tell yourself no. Let the program tell you no. No, you're not admitted. Guess what? There's hundreds of other ones that will say yes. All you need is one yes. How many PhDs you get? One? All you need is one yes. So if I get several yeses, that means I got several options, but I can only go to one school at a time. You're only getting one PhD at a time. You may get more, that's fine, but you only get them one at a time. Now, if you do two at the same time, please let me know who that person is. I will meet you. You are a gator, like T-Rex. You know what I mean? Sheesh. All right, so my challenge, my push to you, by January 2025, January 1, you need to make a decision. Because even if you don't make a decision, you made a decision. As the year goes, you need to understand whose house is it. You need to understand whose house it is. And therefore, from understanding the house, I got to understand the three parallels. Three parallels is who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. That's it. Many of us are stuck in who we were. Many of us haven't moved or embraced to who we actually are, which means I can never meet the person I'm trying to become. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. Am I talking too fast?
No, we're good.
Okay, because I told y'all I'm warmed up now. Cadillac season. Okay. Three parallels. I'm a visual guy, I'm a visual learner, right? So imagine three parallels: who I was, who I am, who I'm becoming. Imagine you in the Staples Center, arena Pact, the Octagon, UFC. And in that ring is your current self and your old self getting ready to battle for the fight of your life. The arena is full of bodies, and guess who those bodies are? All different versions of yourself. Third grader, the 10th grader, the 12th grader, person that was bullied, person that was traumatized, all those people are there to watch this damn show, right? Your old self and your current self about to duke it out in front of everybody. Now your future self is outside of the arena debating, do I get a ticket to this shit show or do I take my ass home? That better version of you will determine what they do. If I haven't fully embraced who I actually am and created some distance from who I've become, I can never be that person that I see myself as. Never happen. Now, when I say take my ass home, talking about the future version of me, they don't live in the same house that you live in currently. Literally or figuratively, because their basement is cleaned out in the house that they were in. That's how they was able to move up. Every time I get better, every time I grow, every time I shift, every time I change, I'm going to a new house. The more time I spend in my basement, the bigger it gets. The more I can relax in my living room. The less time I spend in the attic, the more time I can spend in the present, the living room. So you just go through each floor every single day, every single time. The more I do this, the more all of these units connect. That's authenticity at its finest. I'm not living in the attic, I'm here present. I'm not living in the basement, I go down there every now and then. Because in the basement, you go down these steps and it's dark, it's all get out. And there's a big chair, and that chair is an opportunity because where the chair is, there's a light coming down, looks like an interrogation light. And every time you go in the basement, you sit down in that chair, your old self sits in that chair, your current self have a conversation. Your future self is on the top of the steps talking about, I ain't going down there, but y'all let me know when y'all through. I'm gonna go down there, I don't even live here no more. That's future self. So always think, who am I trying to become? That's the three parallels. You have your whole life to do that because your whole life, three parallels will always remain present. So as I'm getting on this timeline, by August 1, a decision will be made, meaning the school is going to keep moving whether they got you or not. Ooh, decision is made. So whether I make a decision or not, that decision could impact me. No matter what, the decisions that you make or don't make will impact you. Don't wait. Say, for instance, you do it your way, and you make a decision, and you start the program. So you already know ahead of time you're finna go. That means your whole life finna change. By January 2026, you're a first-year doc student. Honey bun, meaning you just got hit in the head. It's soft, but it's still a soft. A doc program is soft, but it's still a soft. Okay? It is hard. Letting you know now, it's hard. What makes it hard is not what you think. What makes it hard is all aspects of a PhD program, not just the work, it's the lifestyle. Meaning I can't kick it like I used to, I can't do certain things I used to. I'm working on 3-4 hours of sleep a night because that's how much work you're doing. It's a lot. It's hard, but it's doable. I can do it, anybody can do it, I believe. So then you got summer madness. During summer madness, you're like, okay, I'm in the thick of it. I just did a semester. I'm either gonna have a hot boy, hot girl summer and leave. I'm gonna have a hot boy, hot girl summer and stay. Either way, a decision will be made by the end of that year. Are y'all saying it? There's decisions that you can make and there's decisions that make you. God, dog it. So consider letting go of the arbitrary timeline that you all hold. It never works out exactly how you planned it in your head. Never. Think about you coming to Cal State Fullerton. You thought it was all these things. Then you got here, you was like, oh shit. Same thing happened in your internship, practicum. You thought it was gonna be all these things. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do this and that. And you're like, oh my God, my supervisor sucks. The facts, or the site sucks. So y'all don't really care about people, or this ain't what I learned in the textbook. Right? So it's never what's in the attic. Because the attic is the movie that you create that never ends the way you want it to. Now you're great at creating movies. I mean, you're Scorsese. You got Denzel, Idris Elba, Zendaya, the lead characters, right? And you know how this shit gonna plan out. And guess what happens every time you create this movie? It ends tragically because it doesn't happen the way you imagine. Never has, never will. You can relate that to any and everything in life. Marriage, relationships, being a student, grad student, doc student, being a person, change, whatever it is. Same deal. Never how it is in your head, because that's not reality. That's the attic. That's why it's so nice up there. You filming whole movies. All right? So don't get caught up in it. Things to consider. We rocking. We rolling. Still got time? Y'all have no idea. Gonna be time. Things to consider. Earning a doctorate requires you to become a different version of yourself. Earning a doctorate, y'all hear earn. Y'all keep hearing earn because you don't just get a doctorate, you earn that shit. I'm telling you, earn it. So in order to earn it, you can't be the same person. That procrastination, you can still do it, but it might kill you in the doc program. You're doing it now, you managing, running, burning the candle on both ends. You manage the doc program, imagine that times 10. It's a lot. You're wearing a lot of different hats, but it's doable. You're not the only person or the last person to get a PhD. So it's doable, but I need you to know what you're finna get into if you decide. So being a better version of me, for example, choosing to practice better self-care. That's a different version. Choosing to establish and maintain some healthier boundaries. I gotta be willing to say no to some things, even birthday parties, even turn-ups, even kickbacks, all those things. I gotta be willing to make those decisions. It's a full-time commitment that can be like having a full-time job. Doc program is a full-time job with overtime, no benefits, no money. Survival, you know? So it can be like a marriage or partnership. I called my PhD at the time, this was way before I got married, my wife. I'm gonna hang out with wifey tonight. Everybody already knew what it was. Not no random woman, it was not a woman. Fucking Auburn University. We were making love every night. Every night. Lights on and everything, you know? Every night. That's a partnership. It's a marriage. I took her with me everywhere I go. To this day, I'm traumatized. I always have my book bag. That's why. That's why. I'm serious. I've been carrying this shit since 2015. I kid you not. I just want y'all to know, this shit is hard. You're gonna have some remnants of doing this, right? Or being a parent. It's your child. Or dog mom, or dog dad. It's a child. It will always be there. Hungry, thirsty, ready, with my mind. Lil, I need your time. I need your attention. I need you right here. This shit don't go away. I'm telling y'all. Okay? I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. Healthy self-care practices. If you suck at self-care now, you're gonna suck even more then. Just letting you know now. And some of y'all suck. I can tell. Self-awareness and self-discovery. Start now. Don't wait till you're in your dark program, because a lot of the change happens is you figuring out who you are, because ain't nobody there but you. You can have your village, your community, your crew, but ain't nobody doing it but you. I'm telling you, it's an isolating experience. It is lonely. It gets lonely. But if I'm not okay with me, I might lose me. But if I'm okay with me, I can do that. Lonely is temporary, right? Your network, your village, your community. If it was not for my fraternity, I probably wouldn't be Dr. Branch. Because going to Auburn University, which student population, can't even remember off the top of my head, but I would say, I'll go on. Can somebody look it up real quick? I don't want to quote wrong. Student population or student body population at Auburn University. Whatever the population is, less than 10% of that were Black. I'm sorry, less than 2% were Black. Yeah. Not counting athletes. Now, if we count athletes, yeah, but those are athletes. So it's more people of color being an athlete than being a student. So as a doc student, I'm there by myself. And I'm the only Black person, Black male there. From 2015 to 2018, 2019, 2020, was not a Black male. Before 2020, probably 2013 was the other Black male. So since I've been there, there's been two Black men to graduate since 2018, since I graduated. 2 Black men that I know well, because I mentored them, because they ain't had nobody, just like I did. Need y'all to see that, need y'all to be aware of that. Okay, there's gonna be people that don't look like you in these higher places when it comes to academia. It's not random. Because this happens from all the way to California, all the way to damn New York. It's across the board. That's a systematic issue. It's not our issue. It's not your job to change that. As a student. Some people go in as a student, oh my God, I'm going to the board, I'm going to the president. You got this texting right, you better sit your ass down. Sit down, this ain't your time, this ain't your battle, not today. Get the PhD first, then go back and talk shit. That's what I do. Can't nobody tell me that now, I already got it. Let's go. So, if it wasn't for the fraternity, so typically I'm working 12, 13-hour days, 6 days a week, 7 days a week before I found out about Self-Care Sunday. True story. So 7 days a week, I'm working 12, 13, 14-hour days. So I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm doing whatever, and then I'm just there by myself, I'm alone. So fortunately, I'm part of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the first Black fraternity in the world. And they had alumni and undergrad brothers there. So that's the first people I reached out to, because the Blackest folks I know in Auburn. Hey, what y'all doing? Oh, we got a set, we got a kickback, we got such stuff. Let's go. I put my books up and I go kick it with them. That was my community. That was my village. That's how I survived. Every weekend, what we doing? What I need to bring? Every weekend. Because every week I'm dealing with the life of being a Black male in a predominantly white institution, profession, country. Just want you to see the layers, okay? It's hard being the only one. But a lot of people don't give a shit. A lot of people can't relate, can't empathize, or don't care. It's on you. Got mine the hard way, you get yours the hard way. We okay? Get real here, ain't it? Getting hot in here too. Hot for me too. It's real in these streets, okay? So know that. So have your village or your community, and sometimes your community, your village may change. But I promise, if it was not for the guys in that fraternity, I would not be here. All right. So you have to also be willing to become comfortable being uncomfortable. Deciding to get a PhD is it's a very uncomfortable decision because everybody named mama around you will tell you, it's too hard, it's this and that. Meanwhile, they ain't got shit to show for what they doing. But a name tag. Ooh, he went there. I ain't got no choice. I just want to give y'all facts. Okay? So don't shit on my dreams because you didn't live yours. Oh. And no, I can't go home to tell them this. Y'all need y'all to tell them. I can't go home to tell them that. I'm not doing it. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So become comfortable being uncomfortable with yourself, right? Transition of people, places, and things. As a doc student, your people, places, and things will change. It's going to change. Okay? Before becoming a doc program, I was at the top of my game. I was a clinical director of an outpatient treatment center, made plenty of money. I was in private practice. I'm balling over $100,000 a year, doing it, living my best life, not worried about nothing. Then decided I want to do this PhD thing. I gave it all up for a $26,000 stipend and free tuition. I went from prime rib to peanut butter and jelly. Salisbury steak, TV dinner, banquet. Thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it was temporary. I knew it was temporary, and I knew I would be better when I got done. And I was right. I was right. So things will change, and that's okay. Just know that it's temporary. Next thing, I want you to think about this little girl, this little boy, this little person that you once were that dreamed big. Bring that person back. Remember back in the day, which one of you when you grow up? A firefighter, right? That little person is still in you. Which one of you when you grow up? A doctor. Same deal. Same energy. Same vibe. Keep it. Keep it. Dream big and take action. Don't just dream, take action. Dreams are great, but it don't mean shit if you don't do nothing with it. This was a dream of mine. I'm bringing it to y'all. This is reality, right? So, number one, survey your, we finna go there. Buckle up. I need you strap the other way. Click, click. Strap the other way. Click, click. Number one, survey your current life and the life you want to have, then decide. Look where you at right now. Look at where you want to be and decide, who do I want to be moving forward? Number two, trust your gut and your instinct. You're always right. You just don't believe it. You're always right. Always right. You just don't believe it. When I say right, that means right about me. Because being right or wrong is subjective. Why do you think we have crime and police? Subjective. For a lot of people, there is a life of crime. Like it is, crime does pay. For a lot of people, it does, until you get caught. But until I get caught, crime does pay, and it pays well. Lower game you in. But for the most part, it pays well. So then decide. Number two, trust your gut instinct. Discover the facts to reduce your feelings. When it comes to this PhD shit, look at what the facts are. The facts are you can do it. How do I know it's been done? How do I know I got a professor I'm now connected to for the rest of my life that's going to help me do that? That's what I'm offering y'all. You got me for life. And I mean it. Any way I can help you, it's done. Now, if I never had you as a student, I'm probably not going to write a letter of recommendation. Oh, no, you. Well, what you doing out here with these clients? Don't get it. No disrespect. Whatever you need, let's talk about it. You know? But I'm not writing a letter, so know that now. Okay. So if I'm looking at facts, the feelings don't stay that long. Okay? The facts are, can you do it? Absolutely. Do you want to do it? Absolutely, or you wouldn't be here. There's something in you burning of what if. Look at what if in the most positive, healthy way possible instead of the way you used to. Next, build a team, a community, a network of destination helpers. Destination helpers is a new term that I just got adopted to or available to. Destination helpers are people that the universe, God, spirituality, whatever, higher, whatever deal, brings people in your life to help you go wherever you're about to go. These people typically can't get in my car and ride with me if I'm in the trunk. Sometimes I gotta get out the trunk and get in the driver's seat of my own shit and let the people show up who gonna ride with me. Some people ride with you all the way to the finish line. Some people get off at a few exits early. That's fine. Thanks for the ride. Had a good time. Yeah, snacks and game and music. Some people help you navigate in a better way. Like, hey, I know a shortcut. I know this. I know that. So destination helpers are people that get on the ride with you. Or they help you, hey, let me put a little gas in something. Let me give you a few dollars for some food. Hey, let's do this, let's do that. Those are destination helpers. Y'all know some of them now. And as you continue to dive into you begin to attract more of them. Next piece, life work. I don't give homework, I give life work. Life work, invest in yourself, which I'm challenging you all to get in that basement. Dive deep in the basement, like really spend some time in there. Really, really do. If you haven't tried therapy, now is your time to try. If you've been in therapy for a long time and nothing's moving and you like kikiing, ha-ha with your therapist, you're not doing work, you kicking it. You paying somebody you're paying for a friend. Because you're not working. If you're having fun in therapy, you're not working. It's not fucking fun, okay? Therapy is not fun. All right, so invest in yourself, the basement. Application, books, tools, and materials. One book I would recommend, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but go on Amazon, and it's one of those Princeton review books that talks about different psychology and counseling programs across the country. That book is phenomenal because it lists every program, where they rank, who they are, what they do, what they don't do. It's a great place to start. So it's on Amazon. I forgot to put a link up, but you have access to it. Next thing, be mindful of who and what you are asking for. Mindful of who and what, okay? So the reality is a lot of times we don't think about the people that we're connected with. We just think about what we want and what we need. And sometimes we ask people that can't give us directions to places they've never been. You gotta stop asking them people. They've never been where you're trying to go. Ask somebody who's been there on their way or in this vicinity, like, yeah, you thinking about it too? Okay. Versus people at the house. Unless they got it, you gotta stop asking for directions. They don't even drive the same car you drive. Okay. Strive toward discovering your authenticity. Find out how can I be present in the living room. That's what y'all get from me today. I'm as authentic as they come. Why? Because I earned it. Why? Because I did the work. And I'm still doing the work. I ain't even done yet. This is the version of me that y'all get now. Wait till 25. Ooh, wait till 25. So, next piece. I said this earlier. Tell yourself yes. Let them tell you no. And they can tell you no all day long. You only need one yes. You only need one school to say, yep, we want your ass. Literally, like, we want, come here, have a seat. Because that's how I am as a person who serves on many review boards or admissions committees. I'm looking for specific people. Just like every person that's on that board is looking for specific people. Let me break it down. If a person came through that has a doctorate and they had the pedigree, meaning they went through all these schools, and private schools and public schools and charter schools and all this, they went to college and finished in 4 years. Y'all hear the salamander, right? They finish in 4 years. They finish in 4 years. Boom, they get the master, they go to the next phase, go to the next phase. Everything is about the grade. Guess what student they're looking for? Exactly like them. Exactly like them. Guess what? I do the same thing. And the same thing is, I don't give a shit what the GPA is. Mine was shit too. Welcome to the club. Okay? I care more about what you do outside of work and just school. Curious about that. Why? Because I was doing everything. Looking for somebody like me. I'm looking for somebody who may be a first generation college student. They may be the first PhD in their family. Hell yeah, I don't care if you got 2.5, we'll find a way. We might find a way. You need to take some extra classes. Whatever the fuck it takes. Let's go, let's do it, because somebody did it for me. So I'm looking for people that look like me. If you're a black male, we're already done. We're already done. Black male, yep. I'm taking advantage of my privilege being in the seat. But a lot of times we can't even have a seat at the table because ain't nobody there. How can I say, ain't nobody even there? I'm there? Yes, he can do it. Well, what about your ass? What about you? What about you? I don't care, because you can't take nothing from me now. You could, but now my livelihood is on me. So yes, we're gonna let him in, and we'll figure it out if he can make it or not. Let him determine that, not you. If he flunks out, he flunks out. He at least tried, or she at least tried, or they at least tried. I'm looking for everyday people. I don't care who you are. If you're a person of color, you already got a leg up. If you got a 3.5, you got less than 3 or 4.0, yep, you already got a leg up. You do more than just school, you already got a leg up. I don't care who you are. Disability, seen, unseen, yep. Transgender, gay, yes, bring them, come on. I don't care what it is. Bring them. Why? Because every version of you is a version of somebody that you get to work with. That's why we need more diversity, because there's more people that look like us that's not doing this work than the opposite. So that's why I'm more interested in bringing more people in that look so different. Why? Because there's so many clients that look so different. But there are so many barriers that's placed there for people of color not to be there to keep the perpetuation of the mashed potato bowl. Go to a conference, guess what you'll see? Idaho potatoes. Here we go again. Getting real, getting deep. Oh, y'all buckle up again. All right. Tell yourself, salamander versus gator. You get to decide every day. My salamander today or my gator today? Your house every day. It's my house. Who house? My house every day. Time management, leadership, boundaries, self-care, enhancement. Time management. If your time management sucks, it's because your boundaries suck. All of our boundaries, many of our boundaries for salamander, they usually go up to the kneecap. About how far they go. When you get better, they go a little higher, taller. If my boundaries go up to my kneecap, anybody can step over and be right up in my face. You can't see me, right? So it's my responsibility to get them boundaries up. So therefore, you don't have access unless I want you in. That is a skill set that you have to develop. This is my challenge to you. From today moving forward, every single day, do something new, different, and uncomfortable. Especially pointing in the direction of getting that PhD. If it scares you, do that shit. Mean it. If it scares you, do it. Excuse me. So even when it comes to practicum internship, a lot of times we move away from clients that we don't want to work with. I challenge you to work with those clients that you're afraid of. Because that's your issue, not theirs. Any client you don't want to work with, that's your issue. That's your shit. Deal with it. How do I deal with it? Work with them. Change my whole perspective. Boom. Story time. How are we doing? This is good. This is real good. Now, let's talk about the story. The Pact. This picture means the world to me because there's so many layers within it. So the Jordans, right? I'm wearing J's today. Reason for the Jordans, especially in this space, is because it represents the culture, Black culture specifically, right? Not just that, culture related to greatness. Michael Jordan, greatness, period. Like, no debate. Debate depends on who you are and what era, but for the most part, that was it. So for me, growing up in Dayton, Ohio, predominantly Black high school, school wasn't my thing. So within my family, the idea, when it comes to success, is graduating high school. That was the bar. Graduate high school. After you graduate, you go to work, you get a job, name tag. You go get a job, Arby's, Taco Bell, a job, right? Second option, work in a factory. Again, East Coast, Midwest, factory was really big at the time. GM, Delphi. That's where everybody wanted to go. So that's the second option. You don't have a second option, third option. Third option, military. So I was gonna go to the Navy. Real talk. I was about to go with a recruiter to go to this spot, to go to the Navy, but my family, who are military, majority military, Taco Bell, Arby's, factory, same deal. They said, a lot of the people that was in the military, they were like, try college first. Just try it out. Try it out. And if it don't work out, then do the military. That's the only reason I went to college. I barely graduated. I graduated from college June 3rd. I graduated from high school June 3rd. I was in college June 7th. Why? Because I had to go in on probation. And being on probation, that means in order for me to be remedial by the fall, because I was below remedial. So to be remedial by the fall, I needed to go to summer school. Summer school was 3-4 days right after I graduated. So me in high school, I played, I kicked it. I didn't know I was smart. I didn't know I had sense. I kicked it. I had fun. The person that y'all see, that's who I was in high school. Boom. Right? Just doing whatever. Because I didn't know who I was. So going to college, I went there to kick it. I had an uncle and a cousin there that mentioned, man, you can come to college because this is the place to be, man. There's girls, you can drink, you can smoke, man. It's everything. I say everything, they say everything. That's why I went to college. Kick it. That's what I did. I kicked it. And my cousin, he got kicked out, dropped out. Guess where he went? Military. My uncle graduated. Guess where he went after he graduated college? Military, as an officer. The cycle repeats itself. So while I'm in college, I didn't do well initially. I took the same English class. I started, just to give you an example of remedial, below remedial. Typically, when you go to college and you do English class, you do English 101. I was so far behind, I did English 098. You gotta do 098 to get to 099. You get to do 099 to do 100. You gotta do 100 to get to 101. I was a junior before I was in English 101. Facts. So a lot of people around me in college, after my cousin got kicked out, my uncle was like, yo, you see which way you can go. He was a wise uncle. He's only 2 years older than me, 3 years older than me. Baby uncle. So he was sharing, like, you get to decide what you want to do, where you want to go. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this college thing. I'm gonna try this college thing. He's like, man, well, you gotta do things differently. You gotta study, you gotta pay attention, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And then I was surrounded by people because I was really young in college. I started college at 17. So I was the youngest guy there playing, right? But everybody saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And then I played as a fraternity. Changed my life. Changed my life. So I'm around guys who had plans, who had goals, who had dreams that had nothing to do with Taco Bell, McDonald's, Arby's, the military, or a factory. These are some of the brothers. These are some of the men that I was around, which was like, whoa. Not only you have a plan, you got 2 parents in the house. Where they do that at? Never seen it before. Never saw it. Didn't know it existed. So I became exposed to so many different things. Once I got exposed and I started seeing things, it's like, okay, let me try this college thing. I started getting good at college. How do I get good? I studied. I studied. I took school serious. I decided that school was my way out of the hood. The hood meaning Arby's, military. That's what I mean. I'd get out. So that was my idea of how to get out. As soon as I got my shit together, doing well, grades are improving, I got kicked out. True story. Why? Because I was deferring my bill every semester. So I was at out of state because I'm from Ohio. I was doing school in Alabama, so I was taking out of state tuition. My parents didn't cover nothing. I was covering it out of pocket the best way I could. So I kept deferring and kept deferring and kept deferring. My bill was up to like $3,800, and they was like, "Yo, you can't defer anymore. You gotta go." Now, mind you, I'm working 3 jobs. I'm an RA. I'm a statistician for sports, doing work study. I'm busting my butt to stay in school, and it wasn't enough. So I got kicked out. Luckily, at the time, my uncle just graduated the semester before. And he's the first person I call, hey man, gotta tell you something. He said, what up? I said, man, they told me I gotta go. He said, all right, you got 2 options. You can come down here and stay with me in Florida, or you can go back home. If you go back home, what's gonna happen? Those 3. Add pregnancy, right? Add drugs, add addiction, add all these things. That's the environment that I came from. I was like, yeah, I'm going down there with you, man. What time can I get there? Right? So I had a broken down car, but it made it. So I left school, packed my shit up, and I'm at the height of my career as an alpha, fraternity wise. I was doing everything because my ignorant self didn't know there was careers outside of the fraternity. I'm like, you get paid for doing this? And it's like, no, that ain't really a thing. I didn't know. So partying, kicking in, all that. That's what I was doing. So anyway, I go down there and I live with him, and my car breaks down. Now, before my car breaks down, the reason I came down with him because he already had something set up. He used to work at Mailboxes, etc., which is now the UPS store. And he said, man, come down here, get you a job at the UPS store. I got you covered. It's part-time. It's not a lot, but you a fighter, you a gator, you'll figure this shit out. That's exactly what I did. So when I get down there, working at Mailboxes, etc., part-time, I went right next door, less than a mile away to work at Subway. I'm at Mailboxes, etc., which is UPS store. Now I'm at Subway. I'm working Subway. So I'm doing about 12-hour days. Wasn't enough money. And the money that I got, I sent it straight to the school every time. 90% of my check went to the school because I already had a place to stay. He didn't charge me anything but Subway sandwiches and cookies. That's how I survived. So I decided to get a 3rd job. So now I got I got a part-time job, a full-time job, and I go get a 2nd job. I got two full-times and a part-time. I didn't sleep. Because by this time, my perspective changed of, oh shit, there's a way out. I can get out of here. School is my way out. So the 2nd job I got was at a juvenile detention center. And in this detention center, I worked 3rd shift. My job was to keep the guys from breaking out, from fighting each other, and doing whatever. So I worked the night shift. And working the night shift, there was a guy that was there who's been there for 10 years. He fell asleep on the job. He got fired. I said, if they fire him, I've only been here 10 minutes. I can't go to sleep. I cannot sleep. So I'm at work like this, like, oh. But I made it. And how I made it was reading and chess. That's how I started learning how to play chess. That's why I integrate chess in the classroom. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. So as I'm walking these halls, checking the rooms, trying to stay awake. My partner's on one end because we work an hour and then switch, work an hour. So you're just sitting and walking. That's your job. So I'm walking with the flashlight, checking the rooms. By the time I get to her, I make my chest move, boom. I go to the other side. She doing what she did, and I did this for 8 hours. While they slept, wake them up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, put my subway outfit on, go to work. Did this for about 2 semesters. And during the time I was at the Juvenile Detention Center, that's when I found out about the book, The Pact. That's where I saw the book. So what their story that they were sharing, I was living in real time. And their story was like, yo, maybe, now mind you, I'm kicked out of school. Y'all know my background. It was at that moment, I saw people that looked like me, and it made me think maybe I could get a doctorate too. It was at that time. So by the time the 2 semesters, I did a spring and a summer. By the time the fall came the following year, I said, I'm going back to school. Mind you, my car broke down. I got a bike. I went to get after it. I got a bike to get to work. Never missed a day. Fell asleep a couple times, didn't get fired. So I worked until, I worked as long as I needed to, sending checks back. I get back. Now, mind you, I'm young, so I didn't know any better. I just go to school like, yo, it's the fall. I'm here. I'm ready. I should have paid enough money by now. My bill was like $3,800 at the time. So I get back and I'm at student accounts. Y'all know student accounts. You know, that's the place you don't really go to shed tears. You go there like, yo, I got this, I got that. So I'm pretty popular at the time being an alpha. And they're like, oh, shit, Jay back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm back, baby. We're going to do whatever. I'm in student accounts. And then I get to the window like, yo, I'm here to register. And they were like, yeah, you still owe. And I said, what? Yeah, it's like $42.32, so we can't let you back in. And I said, excuse me, sir? He said, yeah, you still owe. I said, man, listen, I'm going to die out here if you don't let me back in. His name was George Snow. And I'm at the student accounts. I'm at this man's window with all these people around me, and I'm crying, letting him know, yo, if you don't let me in, you may be responsible for my death. And he was like, oh shit, okay, let's see. Here you go, get a job, do something. That's how I got in. That's how I got in. And from that day forward, I knew I'm gonna be a doctor someday. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, they ain't none of my damn business. What my business is this is my direction, this is where I wanna go. So when I came back to campus, I got in, I eventually paid that $42. Eventually, working more jobs, doing the same thing. I didn't make less than a 3.0 from that day moving forward. Throughout my career, didn't make less than 3.0. Because I knew then, oh hell, this is the way out. So when I got back to campus, the bros, I reached out to 3 guys. Kent Armstead, Julian McGee, Taiwo Toga, from all different parts of the world, all different parts of life, but they were my guys. We were always connected. So fraternity is pretty big, but we really connected. So they were the first people I talked to because I sent them an email prior to me coming back to school. Hey, yo, I got an idea about us doing a Pact. Now, for me, I felt as though they always knew what they wanted to do with life. I didn't. So I'm like, if they're gonna get a PhD, maybe I could. It was intentional. Maybe it'd give me enough courage to go. Because Taiwo was the smartest person I've ever met in my life, ever. Brilliant, brilliant mind. Julian, same deal. Can't. I'm honest. So when I told them, yo, this is what I want to do, what y'all think? They was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. So we decided we finna do this shit, okay? I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but we gonna do it. Told them about the book. I gave them all a copy of the book. I said, I'm gonna meet these dudes one day. Listen, let's do this shit. They just went straight off my adrenaline energy. Y'all know, y'all got it. Y'all got me today. This has been me for a long time. They like, all right, Jay said we can do it. We can do it. Right? So as we start this journey, as we start this process, Kent Armstead is what I said. So Kent, he was on board. He's English linguistics. So he started his PhD. He was one of the first. He graduated, started his PhD at Austin Peay University, English linguistics. Dr. McGee, he started his doctorate. He was the second person that came in. He started his doctorate in physical therapy at Alabama State University. This is Dr. Taiwo Toga. He started his MD PhD at Yale. Come on. And I was a regular person for a long time. So I graduated, in 2005, and it took me a while just to get the master's program. So I didn't get in until 2007. I didn't graduate until 2009. So once I graduated, I'm like, yo, this PhD thing, I'm gonna do it, but I didn't have what I just gave y'all. All that I went through for the next 6 years of what I gave y'all. So I applied to doc programs, 10 to 12 different doc programs, every year for the next 6 years, and I never got in. Now, it costs me about $100 a pop to do applications. So I'm spending $1,400 a year to get in doc programs, and I never got in. Why? Because I didn't know the game. Wasn't me. I didn't know the game. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know what I just shared with you all. So I'm just out here blind trying to figure it out, getting piecemeals from people that ain't got no PhD. Sound familiar? That's why I didn't know how this shit worked. I got so good at rejection, I applied to Harvard just to get a letter. I got so good at rejection, I started putting my rejection letters on the wall. Real talk, I still got them these days. I loved it, because I knew, like, okay, all I need is one yes. That's why I'm telling y'all this. 13 schools for 6 years, you do the math. And then that one yes is because I was trying to become a psychologist. My belief was, I was supposed to be a psychologist because it was sexy. I didn't know about counselor education because my professors who taught me didn't tell me either. I thought they were all psychologists. Why? Because we don't talk about us. We don't talk about that basement, but I do. And the students in here who have me, this is why. This is why I talk all this shit and give y'all me. Because several people didn't do it for me. So as we progress through this, going our own way, doing our own journey, Kent decided, man, this PhD shit, it's for the birds. I'm out. Guess where he went? To the military. Went to the military. So that left us with 3. So, mind you, these guys was doing a thing in doc programs, and I'm just sort of rooting them on, like, one day I'm gonna get there. Here we go, 6 years later, I was trying to become a psychologist, and the whole time I was supposed to be a counselor educator. Now, everybody and their mama told me, yo, you need to be a counselor educator. I'm like, nope, I want to be a psychologist. Why? Because it sounded sexy. That's ignorance. I was born to do this. Y'all know it. You know it now. For those who didn't, you know now. Okay, wait, what you doing in spring? I was supposed to do this. I never knew because I didn't know me. I didn't go in the basement. But when I started going in the basement, I started figuring out who I was. Once I figured out who I was, I stopped applying. I stopped trying to do whatever it is I wanted to do. And I stopped and I said, hey, God, universe, whoever you is, whatever it is up there, I'm no longer following my lead, and now I'm going to follow yours. I surrender. Whatever's supposed to be is going to be. Now, mind you, I'm a clinical director at the time, working at the highest level, and knowing the PhD will come, don't know when, but I let go. And for the first time I let go, God moved in. There was a recruiting fair at the same institution that I served as the adjunct. That recruitment fair was Auburn University. I'm at Auburn University. I'm at University of Alabama teaching there. I left there to do the outpatient director job. So a lot of students were still there when I left. So I come back to do work for that for the company I was working with, and I had students vouching for me, like, yo, they got PhD programs, because everybody knew the story, talked about it. They got programs, they got Dr. Brand. I'm not even a doctor yet. They're like, yeah, let's get them. So one student in particular saw this recruit from Auburn University. He saw me, he said, yo, Dr. Brand, they got recruiters here, man. Yo, you need to be the I mean, he lost it. I was like, all right, I'm here, what's up? Because by this time, I'm just null and void. So he go get the woman, brings her over to me. Hey, this is David Branch, but he's doing this, that. And before I could say a word, she's like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Before she could even get out, like, what am I doing? Where am I at? He spoke on my behalf. He's licensed, he got this, he got a degree, he's doing this, he's babysitting kids, he over here, he did this Pact thing, he black and a male, I don't know if you noticed that. So he vouched for me. The woman was like, yo, we need you. We need you. Rest is history. All you gotta do is apply. I applied, got it, done. It's a 4-year program, I finished in 3. Why? Because I knew what the fuck I wanted to do. Knew where I wanted to go. By the end of year 1, I realized I've outgrown this program. I'm too damn white. Too damn white. Hey, the only black person here, nobody gives a shit. My dissertation chair, white woman, by the way. Everybody was white woman. I don't think we had any men that was in our department. So she recognized that I was this monster, this beast then, and she knew, yo, you keep doing this, they're gonna find a way to get you out of here. She was right. Because the same woman that recruited me to be in the program is the same woman that threatened to get me kicked out. True story. Because I had the mindset that many of you have, oh, I want to work with this person because they're the greatest researcher and they doing blah, 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 blah. Again, just because I was a fan of that person doesn't mean that person was a fan of me. And I found out the hard way. They weren't a fan. So when I started the program, I knew I want to work with this person. I want to work with this person. And then life happened. It's like, no, I'm not working with this person. I'm working with this person. Dr. Arusi to be exact. Another white woman. Yeah. So work with Dr. Arusi and, I'm submitting papers and doing all these different things. And then that particular person was like, yo, I don't think Jason is ready for this program. I think he's plagiarizing. The last paper he had, I think he's plagiarizing. And Dr. Arusi had my back like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think he's plagiarizing. I just don't think he's a great writer. I wasn't. She saw it. The other woman didn't. She saw, you gotta go. You're cheating or whatever the case may be. So Dr. Arusi advocated for me. Yo, he actually probably can go to the writing center. Let's get him some support. Remember I talked about that? Let's get him hooked up. Let me handle him. Don't kick him out. Let me handle him. And the first thing she did was, number one, send me to the writing center. Number two, she got me connected to a mentor, Linwood Vereen. He was at Syracuse University, Counselor Education Program, Black male. And Linwood gave me the world. Now, I just had access to Linwood. I never saw him. He's not even online. He had one picture from like 97. That's all I had. So I called him, hey, Arusi told me you a Black man, you gonna help me. He said, yep, I got you. We talked for 6 months before I ever met this man in person. He gave me everything I wanted and needed and didn't even know it. And he's in a whole nother state on the East Coast. He gave me what I needed to get through. So that's how I was able to get done in 3 years. Now, once I got done, year 3, mind you, Taiwo and Julian already got their PhD. So we're going to each other's graduate. I'm going to their graduation. So as I'm going to their graduations, we link up, we take pics every time. So this was at Yale, this was at Alabama State. Mind you, I'm still clean, I'm still living my best life. But I ain't a doctor yet. Until 2018. 13 years later, I did it. And we secured the Pact. Now, the first year of my doc program, I got that Pact 3 tattoo. Because who's gonna get you a Pact 3 tattoo? How can you explain that if you ain't got a doctorate? That's why I got it. That's why I got it, to motivate me. Next thing you know, I was at UAB and met the Pact. I met all the guys, got an autographed copy of the book. Talked to them, shook their hand, told them one day I'm gonna be there, one day I'm gonna get there, one day I'm gonna get there. And I finally got there. Graduated in 2018, my whole family, the village was there. Imagine Auburn Arena, not the arena that you in with your old self, but Auburn Arena, white as shit. It was a sea of Black folk, all there for me. They had signs, banners, we had t-shirts finished, I had the village on the back. I mean, it was live. They were there for me. I didn't care about the graduation. I cared about my village up there, making noise. They didn't care, I didn't either. Fuck y'all. The hell the last 3 years. Fuck all of y'all. That's my family, yeah. And even people were talking like that. Jason, that gotta be your family. Yep. Who else is gonna be? It's only me here. Good talk. So here's how life happens. This is how life works. Graduated, boom. First job was in New Jersey. Mind you, I was connected with the Pact, that picture I showed you earlier. I was connected with them online through Facebook after we met. Facebook and all that, and I posted that picture and they saw it. I told them, yo, I finally did it. They was like, yo, let's connect. They sent me their PR person. We actually had a chance to meet. 2018, because they live in Jersey. I was living there. We met and they was like, yo, bring your boys, bring the Pact. So they had this mentoring event that was for them. They made the event about us. It was a phenomenal moment. Now, last piece. The reason, where we at? There we go. No. The reason this picture means the world to me because it solidifies everything. The reason for the Jordans is because that's the highest level of achievement I ever worked towards as a high school student. A pair of shoes I couldn't afford. Those shoes to be exact. So that was the highest level. I wasn't worried about a degree or bachelor's or nothing. For me, it was getting a pair of shoes because of the culture at that time. So I never got them because I couldn't afford them until graduation, 2018. I bought them and I paid a pretty penny for the original because I could afford it. And I decided to wear those to my doctoral graduation. So in my role, in my regalia, this is part of my regalia now, those specific shoes and my regalia. Because it connects me to who I used to be. It reminds me every day of who I used to be. Because the old version of us, the reality is that person is dead. And the only thing left is the ghost of your old self. And that ghost is only going to do two things, propel you or haunt you for the rest of your life. So my ghost propels me. Do you see my shoes? Do you see those shoes? This is the why. Everything has meaning and reason behind why I do it and what I do. And this book is part of it. The socks represents the institution. This represents just faith. Like a tattoo at the end of the first year. The shoes represent where I was. It represents who I am now. The reason I dress the way I dress in the classroom now is because of how I used to dress in the classroom was based off of how people perceive me. My belief was my protection is a button-down shirt. That's my protection. That's my belief. And the reality is, it's not the shirt. It's not my attire. It's my appearance. Being a Black male, some people have a problem with that. It's not my problem. It's actually theirs. My name is Dr. Jason Branch. This has been my TED Talk. So, I want to open the floor for questions. I gave you a whole lot, but you may have questions. So we got time, at least 10 minutes, but I'm here all night. So as long as y'all need me here, I'm here. What questions do you have? What questions can I answer? So I gave y'all everything.
So
Yeah. Real talk, like for real? No
Oh, yeah.
questions? Thorough? A lot?
The honey bun.
Honey bun.
So many honey buns.
Are y'all prepared now?
Yeah,
Are you equipped now?
this told me,
Oh, yeah.
this is my yes.
Hell yes. Oh, real quick. If it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no.
Mhm.
It's not a hell yes. So anything you like, I don't know, maybe no. Maybe no. It's a hell yeah. Do it. Go for it. So thank y'all. And then I put this up here. You know, I got my bachelor's in 05, got my master's in 09, got the PhD in 2018. As you hear the story, you see what you got. Does it matter when? Doesn't. It does not matter. Y'all didn't know that until today. Some of y'all been with me for the past year. You had no idea, didn't care. Why? Because nobody cares but us. Get rid of that timeline. It's garbage. It's stupid. It's salamander. Get rid of it. Because it only adds pressure and anxiety. Oh my God, I didn't do the PhD by 30. So what? You're 33. Who cares? 34. Whatever the case may be. So, nothing else. No questions. All right. Shameless plug now. Okay, so all this shit I'm talking, I decided to start a podcast. So I got a podcast. Thank you. Oh, that reaction I love. Yes, I got a fan. Already. So thank you. So I'm starting a podcast because I've been sitting on this podcast for the last 5 years. Everybody and their mama telling me, yo, you need to do a podcast. And I'm like, no, I like being a guest. And they're like, no, you need a show. And they were right. And I finally believed it. So this year I started the podcast and it's going to launch December 4th, which is the Founders Day of Alpha by Alpha. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, he did that. So it's gonna be on Wednesday. So the first episode will be a solo episode with me on Wednesday, December 4th. The show will air at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. And that's the solo segments. And then I'm gonna have a guest on Sunday. So Sunday, same thing, 9 Pacific, midnight Eastern. I would love for y'all to be a part of this, blow it up, share it, give it away, because I'm just talking shit about a lot of different stuff in life. The same thing I gave y'all today, I got this for anything in life. Any and everything in life. That's just who I am. I'm allowing myself to give of myself to other people, because I'm not worried about what people think anymore. Because everybody got a damn opinion. Everybody. You got a human, you got an opinion. And we deal with more humans than robots. For now. Okay, so that's the podcast. Now, I can't just leave you out here thirsty. So I've decided to curate a playlist to accompany the podcast that's available to you right now. Now I want to run an experiment. So with this playlist is on Spotify called 3 Parallels Podcast with Dr. Jason Branch for 3 Parallels playlist. So you have access, if you have access to anybody with CSI, they got the link, or they can get you.
We'll send it to you.
Boom, they're gonna link, see what I'm talking about? And they're gonna link if you have access. The beauty, let's go. The beauty of this podcast playlist is I curated it with the help of the guest that's been on the show. So it has songs, you can go from AC/DC to gospel, all the way to trap music. It's diverse. Spanish, it's so diverse. You like, how the hell was I in the 70s, the 60s, now I'm in the 2020s, like backing that ass up. What the hell? Yes, from Mozart to Juvenile, I'm serious. That's how diversity. So there's only one recommendation I have. When you get the playlist, hit shuffle, press play. Within the first 3 songs, you're going to get the breadcrumbs if you're paying attention. So you're going to hear something, you're going to see something, you're going to experience something. Think about some of the songs that take you back to a place. All right? Wheels on the bus. Go. Everybody laugh. Why? Because it took you to your damn childhood. Some of y'all ain't laughing 3 years. It took you to your childhood. You remember those memories. Oh my God, Wheels on the bus. Yes. So that's what the playlist is designed to do, to take you to places you ain't been in a while. And certain places you have to go back to in order to give you what you needed at that time. Everything I'm doing is to help people. That's it. I'm a vessel and I'm giving it away. Why? Because I can. Why? Because I know. Why? Because I'm a gator. So play those 3 songs, see what comes up for you. Now, I've been curating this playlist for a while now, and every time I play it, I do the 3 songs. So a couple things happened today. I just want to share in real time. I attracted a few people on my team. I recognize I can't do this shit by myself. So I attracted my production specialist. I attracted my marketing and advertising specialist. As of today, I attracted my new accountant.
Oh.
Put the playlist on, and I kid y'all not, I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. I want you to see it in real time, and then I want to show you an experiment in real time. So I got I got my new accountant and put the playlist on, because every time something new happens, you know, I leave my turtle shell, I get better. I usually play one certain song, Public Service Announcement by Jay-Z.
Yes, sir.
But if I'm playing the playlist, it's whatever comes up. Whatever comes up is what I'm supposed to hear. So after I secured my new accountant, guess what the song came first?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That happened. I know we just signed a deal. I know we just signed a deal. That happened. We just signed a deal. That was the first song. Real talk. Real talk. That happened. That happened for me in real time today. So just try it out, see what comes up for you, whatever that is. I just want to give. That's it. Because the world is taking all day, every day. Give of yourself. That's all I'm doing. Giving of myself. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Period. So enjoy the playlist. Enjoy the podcast. Thank y'all for allowing this to happen. So for my class, for the board, executive board, CSI, for those who don't know, I had an idea and I shared it in class. Yo, I want to host this. Before I can get it out of my mouth, a flyer was made. Right here. Real talk, a flyer was made. I'm like, what the wait a minute. I just said that. Just said it. A flyer was made. Like, yo, we can do it. What time? It happened because of people who care. To put this on that happens to be on this executive board, leadership, boom, PhD, come on. Y'all already equipped, you're already ready. Y'all, there was an opportunity, there was an opportunity there, y'all took advantage of it, and I'm here to give you me. I gave y'all 2 hours of me, and nobody fell asleep, nobody left. That said something. And I can go 2 more hours. But I could. Why? Because I get excited about this. I get excited about helping. It's the same thing. Within this profession, it's not just the therapy, it's all the other things that come with it. To be able to do this means more to me than anything. Why? Because when you get that PhD and I see you at a conference, I'm buying your first drink. Meet me at the bar. That's where I'm at. Conferences? Everybody know. Okay. Bar. Real talk. Meet at the bar or talking shit doing a workshop.
Yeah.
I'm still serving, but I'm still serving as well. Other way. He's different, right? So I live life this way to give you permission to live life your way. I hope that me being as authentic as I can be gives you permission to do the same. Be in the living room, okay? Give yourself permission to do some basement work, to be present in the living room, because people need to see you, not Freud. No continue. I'm done. What you need? Y'all have fun? Y'all have a good time? Everybody have a good time? Hey, y'all have a good time?